Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to madam and all my beloved classmates. My name is Muhammad Nuredi Fizman bin Mota. I'm from AM1105C. My student ID 2020956759. So today me and my group mates would like to present about the types of recognition and its process under the trade union. Let's start with the introduction. In Malaysia, trade unions are regulated under the Department of Trade Union Affairs, Ministry of Human Resources. A trade union, in accordance with the Trade Union Act 1959, is the establishment of an association consisting of a combination of employers and employees working in Malaysia. All formation of trade unions must comply with the law and regulation contained in this act. The role of trade union as a group of pressure on employers in accordance with the rules and law set, while at the same time providing benefits and protection to employees under the administration of an organization. The objective of this trade union is to maintain the welfare and protection of the member of an organization. In addition, having an employee representation from a trade union is legal to raise an issue if there is any dispute between the employer and the employee. Employee protection provided as there is discrimination from the employer or management in bias, wage differences, gender, religion, and so on. Once a trade union is established, the next step to be taken is to get recognition from the employer. Recognition of trade union is an important agenda in industrial relations in Malaysia. This is because a recognition from the employer must be there to start collective bargaining between the trade union, namely representative from unions and employers. This recognition means that the employer in organization must accept a representative from the trade union as a legitimate representative of its employees. The purpose of this recognition is to maintain harmony in accordance with the rules and law that has been set as in Section 9 Industrial Relations Act.
My name is Nurnaja binti Abdul Halim, matric number 2020955667. Today, I would like to present about the general recognitions. There are 4 types of recognitions, which can be separated into scope and how an employee gains recognitions. Recognitions might be general, limited, voluntary, or statutory. This assignment will discuss about general recognition and limited recognitions. For general recognitions, more than 50.1% of workers who join the union, collective bargaining members and non-members must be members. This reveals that widespread recognition requires more workers up to 50.1% who can be union members or non-members. Recognizance is needed so the union can represent the employees, protect their rights, and negotiate collectively. For example, the Malaysian Trade Union Congress has more than 50.1% of members or workers. The MTUC is a government-run trade union registered under the Societies Act 1955. MUTC is the oldest national centre representing Malaysian workers. The union represents all 5,100 plus member industry and sectors. MUTC represents Malaysia and international employees. The government recognizes it and consults it on key labour legislations changes through the National Joint Labour Advisory Council. MUTC represents laborers in ILO conference and meetings. So, the union has over 50.1% memberships and represents worldwide labor. Because MUTC represents labor internationally, many union officials attend overseas courses, seminars, and conferences. MUTC deployed union representatives to strengthen the union and improve worldwide understanding. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To Madam Izrin, my name is Muhammad Haikal bin Kariyame. My number matric is 2020950761. Today I want to talk about limited recognition. Alright. Limited recognition is the union right to represent its member in matter of grievances and personal certification. It is known as limited. This is due to the limited ability of trade unions to discuss a certain issue. Furthermore, the membership of this union can be less than 50% because it is largely represent a personal interest. Therefore, it does not require a full majority of employers to recognize the union. For example, Tenaga Nasional Berhad (TNB) has organized a union called a TNB Union. It is designed for a TNB employees only. Unions cannot initiate collective bargaining with employers on individual fulfillment. Representative can only meet with employees about concerns. For example, because what has been stated is not negotiable, employees should follow it. That's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Syami bin Samsul. I am from AM1105C. My ID number is 2020950431. Today I'm going to talk about condition to process the recognition. It is a concern of formal acknowledgement by individual or group of employers to accept a particular trade union as the right legitimate representative of his or her worker. It is very important for the trade union in Malaysia to obtain recognition from the employers as this will indicate the trade union identified by the employer to speak on behalf of the employees. Hence, it will ensure harmonious environment at the workplace for both parties. There are 5 conditions to process the recognition, which is registered union. The union must make formal application, competent to represent, appropriate union to represent, and sufficiently re-employed. First, registered union. The union must be legally registered union. For example, it must be registered as a worker union under the law governing union registration. Second, the union must make formal application. Union must make a formal request to employer for recognition. Third, competent to represent. Trade union must be able to represent the worker involved. For example, it must be limited to the same established industry, trade or profession as the employees. The union must indicate whether the union represent a minority or majority of workers. Fourth, appropriate union to represent. The union must be an appropriate union to represent the workers' concerned. For example, it should be white collar union if the employers are white collar, and vice versa, blue collar union if these employers are blue collar. Fifth, sufficiently re-employed. The union must be sufficiently representative the worker concerns, of which at least 50.1% or not less than 50% of this worker must be member of the union or wish to represent it. Represent them for collective bargaining purpose. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum to Madam Izrin and to all my fellow friends. My name is Izatira binti Rosli with my ID 2020950283. So I will explain about the procedure or the process of the recognition. The first and most important thing in getting recognition from the employer is the trade union needs to fill in a Form E, which is the recognition claim form. The Form E must be sent together with a copy of the trade union constitution to the employer. A copy of the document must also be sent to Director General of Industrial Relations. After the employer receives the A form, the employer has 21 days to decide whether to accept the recognition or not. If the employer voluntarily accepts the recognition, it means the union has managed to get recognition from the employer. However, a negative response can also come out of the employer, meaning that the employer refuses to give resignation to the trade union. This is because there are various reasons for employers to reject resignation, especially because they are aware that with resignation to trade union, it will put pressure on the employers themselves in collective bargaining. Trade unions can interfere in the employer's decision-making process. When the employer refuses to grant the resignation, the employer must inform the union the reason why the employee decided to refuse the resignation. This is where the next procedure will take place, which is the trade union can file a complaint in the form of a written report to the Director General of Industrial Relations on this issue within 14 days of receiving feedback from the employer or after the expiration of 21 days. An application will be considered withdrawn when the union fails to file a report to the Director General of Industrial Relations. After receiving a complaint from a trade union regarding the issue of resignation, the Director General of Industrial Relations has the authority by which he can determine the step to be taken to resolve the request for such a resignation. The Director General of Industrial Relations must consider the first thing, which is the efficiency of trade unions to represent employees in the application for resignation with reference to the Director General of Trade Union. If the trade union is not qualified to represent the worker, then it will cause the application to be withdrawn. Therefore, if the Director General of Industrial Relations feels that the trade union is the influential, then it is eligible to represent the employees. And the next step to be taken is a secret ballot. Secret ballot refers to the process of determining whether a union has support of a majority of employees in the organization. A majority here means 50% plus one employees agree to be represented by a trade union in conducting a secret ballot. The Director of General Industrial Relations will request a list of employees from the employer. After that, a meeting will be held to determine a secret voting process such as place, date and so on. In addition, both parties need to sign a memorandum of agreement. All workers need to take part in this process. It is to find out whether the trade union is eligible for majority support. The result of a secret ballot will determine whether the union is successful or not in the resignation application. If the result of secret ballot show that the trade union has support of a majority, it is likely that the trade union will be given resignation. However, if the result of a secret ballot show that the union does not have majority support, the union will not be given that resignation. The final decision will be reported to the Minister of Human Resources, and final decision will determine whether the union is successful in resignation. If the decision has been final, then there is no one in favor of the trade union. So that's all from me. Thank you.
In conclusion, recognition is very important to achieve the goals and objectives in the functioning of the trade union. In industrial relation, the meaning behind it also explains the relation between employers and employees in obtaining a harmonious atmosphere and safeguarding all the interests of all individuals or groups under an organization. Every step made from the initial stage of the establishment of a trade union, gaining recognition from the employer, negotiation of an agreement conducted between the employer and the trade union, the process of applying for negotiation and obtaining the consent of both parties must follow the rules and law in the Trade Union Act 1959 and Industrial Relations Act 1967. Trade union and employer relations are tied to each other for the economic activities and national development. With a good relation between the two parties will launch all activity in their respective sector without dispute and resolve problem. In the rules and laws set by the employer should play an important role in ensuring the welfare of employees is given equally without any discrimination. Trade union also have a role to play in providing protection and right of worker. After that, the role of this trade union act as a check and balance in providing improvement in terms of service and product by employers and employees. Thank you so much.